Hello, Mr. Trump. Stephen K. Bannon. How you doing, sir?
Hello, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Look, big night last night, but I want to pivot because we don't have a lot of time. Hillary Clinton. You made a comment the other day that she's going to be easy. Now, to defeat her in the Clinton apparatus, let me stipulate, maybe doable, maybe possible, but how do you get to easy?
You said easy?
You said beating her is going to be easy.
I would say that I've gone against a lot of very talented people in the Republicans. And one by one, you've watched it, Steve, they drop off. And I just feel that she's so flawed. I don't know that she'll be even able to run because of the email scandal. So I really don't know. I mean, I assume that they're going to let her run, which is by itself a problem for her. But I believe that she'll be easy. She'll be horrible on jobs. She is horrible on the military and on the border. She wants to have open borders with people flying through, and we can't have that with crime, with economic development, et cetera, et cetera. And just on those two issues alone, if you talk about jobs, if you talk about the economy, if you talk about border, and if you talk about military, because people want strength today, and she doesn't have strength, and she doesn't have stamina, and she will never have it. And I think she'll be easy to beat.
Bernie Sanders has not brought up her corruption or her crony capitalism. She admits they left the White House in 2000 dead broke. Bill Clinton said in Morocco, I think a year ago, hey, somehow we got to pay the bills. Their net worth is estimated to be over $100 million. Now, you, sir, know what entrepreneurs have to do to get to $100 million. She hasn't done an IPO. She's not a big owner of equity. Is that just all influence peddling over the last 15 years? Are really Bill Clinton and Hillary nothing but kind of high-class grifters?
Yeah, look, if you think about it, to get to those numbers, they made speeches, they got paid a fortune for the speeches. And then you look at the countries and many countries, but countries and companies that she made the speeches for, and then you get to see the way they got treated in government. And a book was written 2 years ago about this. I mean, it was really an amazing book where it just traced the money. You know, the money was paid, and then all of a sudden
cash
got a favor. Yeah. And I think we'll whip out that book because that book will become very pertinent. I'm surprised it hasn't been used by Sanders, actually. But that book was unbelievably well written and unbelievably factual. Yeah, she took money and she did favors for it. There's no question about it.
You met the other day with the last question. You met the other day with the president, the head of the National League, the Northern League in Italy, and he said you guys came to a consensus of how they're thinking about the migrant situation over in Europe. Do you think that's a crisis of epic proportions?
Oh, I think it's horrible. I think what's happened is horrible, and they should have built a safe zone. I think that for Merkel to have allowed millions of people into Germany, and Germany is totally destabilized now, and I don't believe it'll ever be the same. Maybe in 200 years, but it'll never be the same. And Germany, of all countries, I cannot believe they allowed this to happen. And you look at what's going on with migration, and we have a lot of the migrants. I mean, we have migrants coming over here that by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, and they're putting them in different parts of the country. We know nothing about the people, where they come from, who they are. And it's a terrible situation, Steve. Absolutely. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you're a believer before I was, possibly. You're one of the few. But what's going on is incredible. I mean, people are coming into this country. We have absolutely no documentation. We have no idea who they are. And they could very well be ISIS. I mean, you look at those lines of migration. There's so many young, strong men on those lines. Could be ISIS.
Last quote, we got about a minute. But Mr. Trump, Charles Koch the other day said that your rhetoric and Ted Cruz's rhetoric about limiting Muslim immigration and maybe surveillance in some of these neighborhoods like NYPD did to keep the city safe reflects back to Nazi Germany. What would you say to Mr. Koch?
Well, I don't say anything to him. I've always liked the Kochs. They're members of my clubs in Palm Beach, and they're nice people. I've always liked them, but what he says bears no relationship on what I do or say. I don't need his money, and I've got my own money, and I'm one of the few that can say that. I guess these other guys, they're puppets. So if he says something bad about some politician, that's not good. But I don't need their money. I like them as people, but I disagree with him 100% on some of the things he said. I mean, he actually went so far as to say he might back Hillary Clinton. Now, I watched it, and he was a little shy of that, and the papers built it up a little bit more than they should have. But he made some statements that were not very good for the Republican Party, and that's too bad. But again, you have a lot of people that need him, and I don't need him at all. One of the reasons he wouldn't like me is because I don't need him, and I won't do what he tells me to do because I couldn't care less. I'm going to do what's right for the American people, and he can have his puppets, and they're all over the place. And who knows how well he's doing. He's in the oil business. People in the oil business right now are getting hurt. Maybe he won't even enter the fray. But as people, I like him, but I disagree with what he says.
Mr. Trump, thank you so much for taking time. I know it's a very busy morning after your huge victory last night. Thank you very much for joining us at Breitbart News Daily.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much.